Welcome to the Sounds on Vinyl show.
Oh, man.
My name is Phil Boyer, as always. And next to me is my brother from another mother, Viking extraordinaire, Professor Rockstar, Mr. Mike Svensson. Mike, how the hell is it going over there in the land of the free, which is Scandinavia, Sweden? How the hell is it going?
It's really good. It's spring, but hey, that card, man. I mean, that blew me away. Oh,
my
man,
daughter
awesome.
did this for my birthday a couple years ago. Actually, it was when we just started doing the show, so it's actually been about 3 years she did this and put this together.
That's impressive.
Yeah.
Oh,
and this is a tease of what we're going to be talking about today.
Oh, yeah. Oh, it's going to be so good.
It's going to be awesome. So good.
First spring in Sweden and now some vinyl records, and we're back with a new season. Could it be any better?
I could be in Scandinavia, so yeah, it could be better.
You could.
We could be doing this from the same room.
Oh, yeah.
And drinking whiskey while we do it together. And we could say fuck copyright and actually be listening to music, spinning the fucking vinyl we're going to talk about. So there you go. That would be that would be primo, man.
Oh, man. And invite everybody over. We could have Soren come over from Copenhagen with Danish beer. We could have like Mike from Liar Thief Bandit bring out his acoustic guitar and play by the bonfires. And we could have like, I don't know what's going on. But it's
man.
Yeah, you see?
But once I get my ass over there, that's exactly what every episode's going to be, man.
Oh, yeah.
It's going to be like that. It's going to be epic.
You and I drunk.
Oh, fucking hell. I don't know if the world's ready for that.
I don't know if we are either.
Oh, fuck.
Oh,
anyway,
man.
So this season, which is the longest season in the world, because this is our last and final season that's going to last about 12, 15 years, something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
We are just going to go back to the roots of the show. If you missed our little teaser that we put out last week, this is going to be a whole new season where we're just going to do whatever the fuck we want. We're going to have conversations about records. We might have some interviews. We're going to do just some fun stuff, play some music you probably haven't heard before. It's just going to be a blast.
Oh, yeah.
And much like we did back in those early seasons, Mike is going to share a few of his finds that he gets when he's out there searching for that holy grail, that record. And now that we're doing video, you can actually see the records instead of just listening to us talk about the records. So again, and that's a reminder, if you guys are only listening, that's cool. You don't have to watch, but the video is going to give you a little better experience. So head on over to soundsonvinyl.com and check that out. And without further ado, Mike, tell us about what you got this week.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I got some good stuff. Because since I'm always out crate digging or go to flea markets and so forth, and it's just been like crazy here with Record Store Day and all of that good stuff. I've been waiting for this vinyl record I'm going to show you for quite some time, because some record stores, local record stores, they don't know how records are being sold by the masses if there is a band that people have been waiting for. So 2 times I tried to get this album and it's sold out. And finally, my friend Henrik from Gantofta Skivbos, he hooked me up. So what am I talking about? Of course, I'm talking about this little album right here.
The Hallacopters.
The Hallacopters. It's the brand new album.
Wow.
Called Eyes of Oblivion. And this is, these guys know how to put out an album. It's like we talked about so many times before. you need a little some of that something when you buy an album. You remember back in the day, you were always trying to get a sticker or a poster, and nowadays you don't see that anymore. Well, I beg to differ when it comes to the Hallacopters. I mean, look at this. It's shaped like it's an album from like the late 60s, early 70s, with the all of the members here.
Yeah.
And if you look closely, I'm gonna take out the vinyl because I have to show this. It says right here, high fidelity, and it's shaped. The centering and all the labels are shaped like they did the pressed vinyl albums back in the day. So it's an homage to vinyl collectors, because I know both Nicke, the singer, and Dragan is vinyl collectors, both of them. And what you get inside of this beautiful album, of course, you get a poster. You get a good size poster that you can put up on your wall like this.
Well,
isn't that crazy?
That's awesome.
It's like back in the day, man. When you got some treats when you bought an album, because that's what you were into when you were growing up. You wanted that extra special stuff. So that was really cool. I would been waiting for that. It's an fucking epic album right there. So it's crazy. And of course, Record Store Day was just around the corner, and I had to buy Alice in Chains. I know.
Oh, jeez.
I know you love them.
Oh,
I know you love them. This is their first AP, sorry, We Die Young. And there is actually a song here that I didn't have before on any recordings. So special exclusive for Record Store Day. And talking about Record Store Day, I mean, when it all started out, it was just labels trying to get a buck from the fans like me, and then just repacking stuff. And people got angry as hell, including me. So we wanted something exclusive for Record Store Day. So, and the band listened to that and dig deep in their vaults and brought up some really cool stuff. Especially the Ramones, which I think is a fantastic band. They, for each and every Record Store Day, they put out something exclusive. So the latest two, I think it was 2021 and 2020, they put out a vinyl album. I think it's the first one was from a recording that the drummer had from the soundboard. He just went up to the sound guy and, hey, I want you to record this show, and put it in a drawer somewhere and forgot about it. It's from 1977.
Wow.
Or something like that. Late 70s or early 80s, something. And lo and behold, it became a Record Store Day exclusive. 5,000 copies only. So I got one of those. So that's what you do nowadays. You try to find it something extra because you don't want to piss the fans off. So, and of course, I found some other good stuff. I found this one. I really dig Iggy Pop. Okay. I've been looking for this in a better condition that I had before. So I found this one. Really almost mint condition.
Yeah, that looks pretty good.
Yeah, very cheap. So it's Lust for Life with Iggy Pop. So that's kind of cool. That's what I got for you.
There you go.
So more records to come as we
do.
There
you go. As you get them, we will show them.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Yeah, got to show the goods, right? That's how we keep our ratings, showing the goods.
So you hinted at what we're going to talk about today. So
yes.
So you got one too.
I got
okay.
one.
You start.
Should we show
you
it?
Start.
Should we show it?
Yeah, of course.
At the same time?
At the same time. All right.
Okay, 1, 2, 3. Here we go. Iron Maiden.
Iron Maiden, man.
There we go, man.
Isn't that a beauty? Isn't that a beauty?
And when you brought this up the other day, like, hey, we got to talk about Iron Maiden's first album.
Yeah.
And that we did not ever talk about this album. We've mentioned it, but we've never gone over it. We've never had a conversation about it. And I find that incredibly just wrong on so many levels that we have not put this in the show before.
And it's crazy because, I mean, why didn't we, like, when we had Soren on, why didn't we talk about this label?
Yeah, I think I've got that one.
Yeah.
No, I don't.
You don't.
I don't. I've got this one here.
Yeah.
So I've got the shitty version.
version.
That one with Eddie on it is awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The American version you got without Eddie.
Yeah.
And I got one of those like cheaper copies also without. It's from a company called Fame. That pressed, low price records. And they had to put their logo here, which is completely ruined the record. But I think this one doesn't have it's sort of like, it has a Maiden logo, actually. But it's...
Oh, it does.
I don't know if you can see it.
Yeah, kind of a little bit. It's kind of an outline.
There.
Yeah, there we go. Okay. Yeah.
So it's, So different pressings that we learn everything about from Soren.
Yes, we did.
So what's your first memories of this record?
Oh, geez. You're going way back. My first experience with Iron Maiden was actually Peace of Mind. That's when I got into Maiden, 1983.
Yeah.
And then I started going backwards, and I got Killers and this first initial release. And, these first two records, especially this first one, I was listening to it earlier before we recorded just to kind of get amped up. And this is one of my favorite all-time records. Like it's one of those records that just, it takes me back to those old days when I would record everything on a cassette tape, put it in the boombox that I had tied to my handlebars on my bike, and I would go through the neighborhood and just piss off all the neighbors and, that whole thing. And it's just, I don't know. It just, Iron Maiden for me is just one of those bands that will, no matter what they put out, even if it's not that great, it's always going to be with me because of these first two records, especially.
Yeah. And it's funny that you say no matter what they put out, it's still, you can't deny, I know there's people trying to, but you can't deny that they still put out quality music. Mm-hmm. If you listen to the productions, if you listen to a couple of songs, even if you don't like the whole album nowadays, there isn't a record that they have released that isn't like quality music. There is low points, of course, but if you listen to an Iron Maiden album, for me, you can, a couple of songs or a couple of tunes, a couple of minutes into a song, you can hear that it's Maiden. You hear Steve's bass guitar and so forth, and the singing both from Paul Di'Anno and from Bruce, of course. And it's quality music, and it's from like the get-go, like you said, with this first album. And I think, because I'm like you, I discovered them with Peace of Mind. That's the first album that I bought. But it's crazy to think that they still today play those songs because it stands the test of times. And just like I think it's like 2005, they decided with Bruce to play both albums from the Paul Di'Anno era back to back at shows. So that's what they did. They came up with this idea, and Bruce said, "Well, bring it. Let's do it." So if you go on YouTube, you can. I mean, there is a recording from Gothenburg that was aired on Swedish national TV in 2005, where you get all the songs sung by Bruce, of course. So that's pretty cool. I mean, you got a band that dares to do something like that and not play a safe card and only play Run to the Hills and so forth. And they do what they do because they're Iron Maiden and can do whatever the fuck they want. So
they can, yeah, and they've earned that right though. They've earned it. A lot of bands do that and they haven't earned the right.
No,
but Maiden has. They put their time in, and even the story about how they got signed. The guy didn't even hear them play, but because he couldn't even get in, and just the fact that all those people were there to see this band.
Yeah.
He signed them instead of Def Leppard. And look at where Def Leppard is today versus where Iron Maiden is.
Yeah. Still a big band, though, but not in the magnitude of Maiden.
No.
But talking about these records, I mean, look at the songs on this album. Prowler, Remember Tomorrow, Running Free, for crying out loud. Phantom of the Opera.
Phantom of the Opera is my all-time favorite Iron Maiden song.
Yeah.
I love that song. I mean, geez.
Yeah.
And, the way, like the bass, you listen to the bass, and Steve Harris plays that fucking bass like a damn guitar, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
It's crazy the sounds that he gets from that. I think the only one that did it better was Cliff Burton.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Just a phenomenal bass player, and really gave Maiden that signature sound that I think they still have. Yeah. Remember Tomorrow that's an interesting song because it's a mellow song, but it's just so well done. And Paul Di'Anno, like his voice in that, I think it really showcases his ability, and it's a shame that he doesn't have that voice anymore. But
it's funny that you mentioned that, because a friend of mine, because Paul, God bless his soul, he went out on a limb, could you say that? And he had a band from the get-go, but that became like too much money for him to tour the world. So he came up with the idea, or I think its management did, that what if we have like local musicians in each and every country that you could play with when you go there. So a friend of mine got the job to be his guitar player. So, and I went to see him at a show in Copenhagen. And it's crazy to I was struck being there backstage, seeing Paul go on with the set list, and I'm thinking to myself, this is, even though it's hard to grasp that it's the same guy that you see here on the album with a bear shirt and punk attitude.
Don't even look like the same guy.
No. So, but as soon as he started to talk about reminiscing, and as soon as he got in the mood for hitting the stage, and then we went out and he climbed the stage and they played all those songs, Prowler, Remember Tomorrow, Running Free, and so forth. The voice was there. This was like 10 years ago, so the voice was still there, but it's hearing him in a small club in Copenhagen singing "Remember Tomorrow," that was fantastic. I mean, it gave me goosebumps for crying out loud.
It's a great song. I mean,
it is. It is.
But I mean, this whole freaking record is amazing.
It is. It is.
I mean, there's not a bad song on it.
No.
It takes you through this journey. You know, all the songs are a little bit different. You know, you got this instrumental with Transylvania, and Charlotte the Harlot, which, you know, has that story, and the subsequent release on the Number of the Beast with
22 Acacia Avenue.
Thank you. My brain is just shot today. But yes.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah.
Which I thought was cool. I always thought that was cool that, we've got Charlotte the Harlot in 22 Acacia Avenue. And these guys are like telling a story over multiple albums, you know?
Yeah.
I kind of wish they would have kept that up. That would have been cool.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's crazy because I didn't see this from right now. I haven't reflected on it. It's only 8 songs.
Yeah. 38 minutes.
Yeah. 38 minutes. But still, it's nothing that I thought about. Wow, there's so few songs on it. But because it's like so thorough songs. I mean, you got 8 epic fucking tracks on this one.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, holy shit. I mean, but it's I mean, look at the sleeve.
The fucking artwork. I mean,
it is. The
artwork, Derek Riggs.
Yeah.
I think one of the worst things Iron Maiden has done is get rid of Derek Riggs and went for the computer animation artwork. It's just, he did such a phenomenal job on these covers. And I remember as a kid, man, drawing these covers, man, especially this one, man. I would draw this like nobody's business. I would just the whole brick wall, trying to get the brick wall and Eddie's hair and all that. And it's just like, it was just, it had all the elements that as a kid getting into those teenage years where you just want to revolt and you just want to say fuck you to everything and everyone. And you've got this monster on the cover and you've got this music that's got that punk feel, but rock and roll at the same time.
Yeah.
And you just, it didn't get any better than that. Really,
no.
You know?
And I,
oh, go ahead.
No, I was saying that I mean, the memories that you had with our Maiden growing up, as you said, it's we talked about this so many times. It's crazy that you and I are the same age. We grew up in the early 80s, and we got like Maiden and Judas Priest and so forth on our radar. But it's hearing you talking about how you, I mean, you sketched out the wall here behind you and you try to fit. That's exactly what I did too.
Oh, wow.
I did it on my school book, so that my teacher yelled at me and said, "What the hell are you doing? You're ruining the books." And I'm going, "What? It's Maiden, man. What the fuck? What's wrong with you? Have you ever heard? Stop listening to that crap music. What the fuck, man? It's Maiden right there, man. It's Eddie." And I mean, you're like way across the pond. Mm-hmm. And I'm in Sweden, you're in the US, and we got these similar stories because that's what it took. That's what it took. Piss somebody off with this music.
Yeah, exactly.
Because it was so. Nowadays, when you say that to youngsters today, what do you mean you pissed off with your music? But back when you were growing up, being like 12 and 13 in like 1982, 1983, that was something else. I mean, people got, mad when you show them, oh, devil music, you see the devil right there. And you're going, huh? What do you mean devil? It's Iron Maiden. It's a band, man. yeah, but you could see they're pure evil. I mean, do you mean the guy on the front cover, or do you mean the band? As you look at the band, do they look evil to you? And the adults go, well, that doesn't matter. It's Iron Maiden. They're from the devil. They're Satan's music, and it's crazy. You and I growing up on that. You remember those people that bought albums just to burn them?
Oh yeah,
those Christian people.
Well, we had that big satanic scare thing here.
Oh yeah,
that went on for a while, where everybody's like, "Oh, the Satan," and then Iron Maiden comes out with the Number of the Beast record, and it's like, "Oh, they're devil worshippers." It's like, have you listened to the songs? You're out there fucking burning it. Have you listened to the songs? Have you listened to Bruce Dickinson talk about the inspiration for this comes from old literature and the Bible? But somehow it's satanic. Well, it mentions the devil. So does the Bible. So does the Bible. So I guess the Bible's satanic too.
Oh,
it's like these freaking religious nut jobs have no idea what the hell they're talking about. And they're out there burning toxic fucking vinyl records, putting all that crap in the air and bringing their kids. See, this is making their kids breathe in that. It's like you're doing more harm by letting them breathe in that smoke than them listening to the freaking record. They might actually learn something.
and it's crazy to think about this, but it actually took. Maiden, they were a band from Europe, but if you had to if you wanted to buy an album like, say, Kiss or Motley Crue or whatever from the US, you had to wait a couple of months for that album to get here. But that news that you brought up with those Christian people burning, that shit spread like wildfire here. So they were talking about this on Swedish television back in the early 80s.
Wow.
Well, this is devil music is here from the United States of America. They're burning and is standing up for the rights, and so they had a similar stuff here in Sweden. We're not the burning type of people. We sit down and have a discussion about it on live TV. So I remember this. It's so funny. It's gonna crack you up. We had this show. I think I think it was called, freely translated, a direct answer or something like that. But it's sort of like a debate show where they put each and every topic in the spotlight and bring people in there on abortion or on political strategies and so forth. And of course, heavy metal music. So they brought this young dude who is like an editor for a magazine in Sweden called OK. And he didn't know what the fuck was going on. So he's sitting there, and this was like, I don't remember, because it was Wasp, I remember. And I don't remember if they talked about more than but just to give you an idea how crazy it was. So he had to sit there, some 20 years old, 22, 23 at the time, I don't know. And this old geezer putting him under the knife, going, so, heavy metal music, what do you got to say for yourself? And he has to sit there and defend metal music per se. One guy and an audience full of old folks, and they brought in little kids and showed them albums, because I remember hearing stuff about this behind the scenes, showing them. So don't you think this Eddie guy here is pure evil? He came from the devil. And don't you is this supposed to be your upbringing right there? No, I'm only 6 years old. I don't want to die and go to hell. So, and quick back to that little kid in his studio. So what do you think about this? And the little guy goes, I don't know. I don't want to be ruined by the devil. It ruins my mind. And back to the editor and goes, so what do you think about this? You ruin kids. You ruin kids' life. And he had said, no, we're not. It's music. It has to do with metal music. It has nothing to do with ruining people. And so you want him to grow up like this? I don't care. I'm here as an editor of a magazine. What do you want me to say? You have to sit there and defend. So that's like the Swedish way. We didn't burn shit, but we debated stuff.
Yeah, you guys did all your burning years and years ago.
Yeah,
you guys went through that phase, and you're done with it now.
Yeah.
Now you just sit around and drink from the horns and listen to devil music.
You see,
just keep it mellow. Just keep it mellow.
Keep it mellow. But it's crazy to think. I mean, that people would actually think that the music that we grew up upon was like came from the devil. I mean, how is that even possible? It would ruin your minds. And we go, what the fuck are you talking about? I mean, the only thing, I came to think about this. I'm going to quote a guy that I actually think it's, when I say his name. That's the only decent thing that Dave Mustaine from Megadeth said. Because they talked to him during this period in time. So what are you thinking about, like, when they burn all the Megadeth records? And he said, well, to get those records, you have to go buy them. Well, and if people are buying my records, they can do whatever the fuck they want. That was so cool. So if you want to burn them, go ahead, but you had to buy them, and then that means that I get the money. So
yeah.
Who's the loser now?
Yeah. It's same with the book burners, which we're going through that phase over here again. We're burning books and all this stuff.
Nowadays?
Oh yeah, man.
What?
Don't get me started, man. Especially right now. Don't get me started on this shit that goes on over here. We are very much a Puritan country, and I'm surprised we're allowed to listen to any kind of metal music over here.
Oh man,
it's insane. It
is.
It's bad.
Yeah, we're not diving into that, but
I mean, it got so bad Slayer had to retire. I mean, I'm kidding.
Oh. And now I'm lost for words.
And now for something completely different.
Yeah. But going back to growing up, did you have a lot of money to go buy records when you were growing up? No,
I was poor. I couldn't really buy records. It wasn't until I was a teenager where I could spend a little bit of money, but that was few and far between. And so I had to be very picky about what I bought.
Yeah.
A lot of it was recording shit off the radio on the cassette tapes and making like these mixtapes of all the hits and stuff. So it was, I didn't have the opportunity to get a lot of stuff. Did record a lot of stuff off friends, but once I had the money, you got to go buy that stuff and get the original because copies suck, right?
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah,
better than nothing. But
because I'm thinking that I didn't have a lot of money either, but I had some. But what we did, we were like a gang of friends that always met up at some playground or outside a convenience store or whatever, and we were sort of like between 7 and 8 or 10 kids, something like that, and we always had a boombox with us. And somebody had money. Some of the kids were older than me, so they got summer jobs and whatnot, so they could afford to buy an album. And you remember hearing the word spreading that, oh, the guy over there, he has the new Judas Priest album. Okay, let's meet up and bring your cassette tapes. So we had to beg and plead him either to that give him to lend you his album, or he could come with you home, that you couldn't record the album on cassette tape, or you could give him the cassette tape and hope for the best that he would bring it back. Yeah. And it was always a happy ending. So I got a lot of cassette tapes, but those are memories too. I still got my box full of them, and I cannot get rid of them because there is so much memory in that box.
Yeah,
I put it up in the attic, so I take it down every once in a while and reminisce. But those were the days when you wanted the music and you couldn't. There was no streaming services. And when I talk to my own kids about this today, it says, this is a cassette tape. It's a mixtape, and they go, "Oh, like you do a playlist on Spotify." No. Okay, it's similar, but this we had to put a record, and I show them. You had to put a record on, and you had to hit the record button and wait for the song to end, pick up the pickup and stop, and you have to do that over and over again with like 20 songs. And they go, "How long did that take?"
Too long.
I said, too long, but who cares? You had to put that tape in the boombox or in your Walkman and just bring that stuff with you, because you couldn't live without music. I couldn't live without music back in the day. I still can't. No, you see?
It's like I listen to music when I write. I listen to music when I work. It's to say that it's the soundtrack to my life is an understatement, because I've always got music going. Yeah. It just never stops. No. And back then it was the same way. Always had music cranking. I couldn't just go out and ride my bike without having that boombox and cranking metal, hard rock, Scorpions, Iron Maiden, whatever it was. I always had to have music going. Yeah. And it's that, like going back to this particular record, back then we listened to records. We didn't listen to songs. We listened to records. You put that whole thing start to finish. And that's what a lot of what I do today, right? I've got some playlists that I listen to, but for the most part, I'll pop on a record and listen to the whole thing start to finish. Yeah. Yeah. And this record is just one of those that I go to it often. It's I listen to this record probably 2-3 times a month. I'll pop it on. Cool. And it's just, it takes you back. It puts you in the moment. It does a lot of things. I mean, the music on this record it's unlike anything Maiden's putting out now. Once Bruce came in, I think we've talked about this part before. The music changed. Oh, yeah. It had to. Paul Di'Anno brought that punk vibe to it. And I think that's that energy and that whatever you want to call it, the angst, whatever it is, I think that's what really appealed to me back in the day, and it still does, because I'm still that fuck you, fuck everything kind of guy. I still just want to go punch people in the face sometimes. Yeah. And it's this record is just full of that stuff that just kind of puts you in it calms you down, but then it doesn't at the same time. It gets you fired up. Yeah. It's funny that you mentioned that, because I had a conversation about this some time ago with, I wouldn't call them friends of friends. So when you're going to cut your hair and like grow up, and I was so taken aback at that and said, "Excuse me, what do you mean? Well, isn't it time? I mean, you're getting older and your hair is gray." And I'm thinking, isn't this a loss for you? I mean,
you aren't able to go back and reminisce about stuff that you had growing up. Instead, you have to say, I think you should be more like me, all dressed in a white shirt with a tie and a coat, a nice hairdo, and all of the substances you got going on. And I don't know what's going on. But that's sometimes what it takes to be where we are today. Because you said, I'm still that fuck you guy. I'm still the same guy. I've grown. I've hopefully I've grown and taken. I mean, I've educated myself. I'm seeing the world in more nuances that I did when I was like 12 years old. I'm married. I got a couple of kids myself, and I'm teaching them stuff and so forth. But I'm still that same 12, 13-year-old guy trying to get that latest album in my hands, listen to it. And when I hear this album, talking about this album, it's like the same feeling that because I thought, whoa, when first I heard, this is not the same dude that's sung on that Peace of Mind album. Wow, he sounds like a punk guy. And a friend of mine, his older brother, said, yeah, there is much more punk attitude, because he listened to a lot of punk rock music. So he taught us, well, listen to this. And we could hear the similarities with his voice, Paul Di'Anno's voice, and with the punk rockers. So I thought, whoa, he's really kicking ass. And every time it's crazy still that this is also similar. You riding your bike, listen to a boombox. I met up with my friends. We're the similar age. You're across the fucking pond, and I'm here in Scandinavia, and all of a sudden we got this in common too.
Yeah,
because this makes me go, yeah, proud, fuck yeah, go fuck yourself.
Yeah.
And
it takes you back to those days, man.
It takes you back,
just like
man.
just all the way back.
Yeah,
you know.
So every time I meet some dude that say, "Isn't it time for you to cut your hair and grow up?" I don't know what that means. I don't even know what that means.
Because people have stupid definitions of shit. I mean, I was just able to start growing my hair out a few years ago, right?
Yeah.
And people still look at me like, why do you have long hair? And it's like, well, it's what I want. I've wanted it since I started listening to metal, and it's something I wanted. I never was able to get there, but now I can.
Yeah.
You know? And it's like...
And my hairdo has been with me since I was like 14, 15. And it's been the same. I've looked the same with all my clothes. I wear a t-shirt, I have a shirt on sometimes, and I wear jeans and a leather jacket or a coat or whatever. But I thought so bad for that guy. I mean, what a loss for him to be able to say, I have grown up and you haven't. I mean, it's crazy to think that this goes on in people's heads, trying to label other people that what's going on here. It's same for young people today when they listen to music or they dress in a certain way. You can hear older people today going, well, you should like pull your pants up or don't wear that hairdo like that. And don't, I mean, what's up with the green hair? And I'm thinking every time I see a kid down the street with green hair on one side and purple on the other side, and I think to myself, good for you. Good for you. You did everything that you wanted to do, and you said to everybody else, fuck you, I'm not listening to any words that come out of your mouth. I'm doing exactly what I want to do right here, right now. And So, and that's what it's all about. That's metal and punk rock.
That's
for you
metal.
right there.
And I think it's interesting how people think, oh, because you have long hair, you're somehow not grown up. You're somehow not like the length of your hair determines your how responsible you are as an adult.
Yeah.
It's like, no. There's plenty of people with short hair that are fucking losers.
Yeah, you see? Yeah, but I always wanted to look like these guys over here. I mean, the Maiden guys or Priest or Saxon or whatever with their long hair and being cool. And of course, I wanted to play in a band. That's what
and now you
me.
do.
Yeah, now I do.
Several bands.
Yeah, been playing.
One of which is a band that is not unlike this first Iron Maiden record.
Oh. You think? Wow.
I mean, I think, I don't know if we can talk about it, but
oh yeah, we can. We can talk about it.
It's that single that's coming out very, very soon. Couple weeks.
Yep.
Actually, at the time, we're recording this early, so it's already out by now.
It's
already out, and it's a great fucking song, and it's got that same kind of, I'm not saying it sounds like Iron Maiden, I'm saying it's got that same vibe that Iron Maiden has. It's got that rock and roll vibe, it's got that punk vibe, it's heavy, it's full of fucking attitude, it makes you go want to punch people in the face for being stupid. And that's what music's all about, though, right? You have to listen to the music that touches you. We were sitting on the porch yesterday, and this kid comes by on a skateboard, and he's got his boombox, and he's playing this Post Malone auto-tune crap music. And I don't know if it was his sister or girlfriend or who, but she started talking to him. He's like, I can't hear you over my great music I'm playing here. And we're sitting here laughing, and I was this close to saying something, but she goes, great music, that's a bit of an overstatement. And I'm like, okay, all right. And we're just sitting here cracking up. It was funny, but everybody's got to listen to what they like, to what they like. And for us, it's metal, it's hard rock.
It is.
And
it is.
You gotta love it. You gotta love it.
You have to. Oh, I forgot. I have to do more stuff. Being more American, I have to mention what's going on because we left people hanging with that song.
We did leave people hanging.
Yeah. And the band that I'm releasing new music with, it's called Dead Anarchy. And we're on Spotify already. We released a single. It was a COVID project, if you will, from early on. We started playing covers, punk rock music, mainly. Some Ramones, some Sex Pistols, and so forth. And then all of a sudden we say, hey, how about writing a song with the stuff that made us the people that we are, the punk rock music and the metal music that we got in common. So we wrote this one. And we thought that, well, this could be cool. And just 4 guys with different backgrounds, but playing in metal bands and so forth, and punk rock bands too, 2 of them. So, hey, how about we do this and try to figure out doing a homage to that period in time. And so that's what we did. The song is called The Original Sin, and it's already, I don't know when we're going to air this, but it's already out on Spotify and iTunes and so forth. So go look it up, if you will. Dead Anarchy, The Original Sin.
Make it happen. We'll link to it in the description everywhere. So
yeah, all right.
So you can go do that. And speaking of original music.
Oh, yes.
We've got more original music. We've got something to play right now.
Yeah,
Who are we playing? Who's
we're bringing
the
back
band?
Who's the band? We're bringing back that segment that we used to have earlier. We called it Pick of the Week, where we choose some music or some interesting stuff that we have. Could be a video, could be a band, could be whatever the hell we want. But this week we got, of course, our friends from Liar Thief Bandit, and this is a great band. They already released like 3 full-length albums, been touring Germany and Sweden the last couple of months here. And you can check them out on liarthiefbandit.com. And this is their new single, Diamonds. Here we go.
Liar Thief Bandit never ceases to just entertain the fuck out of us.
You see?
They never disappoint, man. They show up, they kick your ass, and they leave without even asking your name.
Oh, yeah. There we go. I couldn't say it better myself. It is. These are people that are way younger than you and I, but they got like the right attitude. I've been following this band since they started. I know Mike, the singer, personally, and you know him too, of course, now.
Yeah. Been on the show a few times.
Yeah. And he's such a great guy, and he shares all this stuff beforehand and with the new music and lets me listen to it. I have the privilege to listen to it, and he wants to know what I think, which I think it's I think the world of that guy. It's such an honor to be a part of that, and as often I can, I go see the shows and buy their albums and T-shirts and caps and whatnot, just to support the band, because they're freaking awesome. So if you haven't heard of them before, the 3 full-length album, they're on Spotify, they're on iTunes, they're on Amazon, they're everywhere. And of course, they got a webpage, liarthiefbandit.com. So go check it out and give them some love. It's a great band.
Yeah.
So
we'll put all the links in the description too.
Oh yeah.
Everything's in the description. If you need anything off the show, go to the description. Whether you're watching this on YouTube or listening to it in your favorite podcast app, we'll have everything in the description for you. And if all else fails, go to soundsonvinyl.com. We've got everything you could ever imagine there, and we're working on some cool stuff to make that website just all kinds of full of kick-ass. That goes beyond the show, and we got videos, we're working on documentaries, we're working on all kinds of fun stuff. So make sure you go over there and give us some love too. We need love too.
We need love too, yeah.
We need love too.
Yep.
Us devil worshippers with long hair. We need love too.
We need love too. Okay. So
it gets a little lonely just hugging Eddie and stuff every night. It's like we need some love too.
We need some love too. Okay. Well, that's a wrap, I think.
Yeah. And with that, I think we'll say later, and until next time. Have a good one.
Have a good one. Later.